You don't have a money problem, you have a starting problem. You've probably spent hours learning how to make money online. You know about dropshipping, affiliate marketing, investing, freelancing, AI, and dozens of other business models. You've watched videos, saved posts, taken notes, and convinced yourself that you're making progress. So let me ask you one simple question. After all that time, how much money have you actually made? If the answer is little or nothing, you're not alone. Millions of people dream about starting a business, but most never earn their first dollar. Not because they aren't smart enough and not because they picked the wrong idea, they're stuck because they're solving the wrong problem. In this video, we're going to change that. We'll show you why your first dollar matters far more than finding the perfect business idea, 4 realistic ways to earn it, and how those first small steps can eventually grow into a real business. Here at LifeWise, we believe entrepreneurship isn't about chasing shortcuts or overnight success. It's about building practical skills, creating real value, and designing a life with more freedom, purpose, and opportunity. And before you leave, we've also prepared a free business starter kit to help you choose the right path. Avoid common beginner mistakes and take your first step with confidence. Let's start with the biggest reason most people never make that first dollar. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people don't fail because they chose the wrong business. They fail because they never stay with one long enough to see results. Think about your own journey. 1 week you're convinced dropshipping is the answer. Then someone tells you long-term investing is the smartest way to build wealth. So you spend hours learning about index funds and ETFs. A few days later, another creator says AI is the biggest opportunity of the decade. Then someone else insists that building a personal brand is the only business worth starting. Every new video feels like you finally found the missing piece. In reality, you've simply restarted the game. Your brain mistakes learning for progress because researching feels productive. It's much easier to watch another video or read another article than to risk hearing your first no from a real customer. But businesses aren't built by collecting information. They're built by solving problems for real people. The entrepreneurs making money online aren't necessarily smarter than you. Many started with less experience, fewer skills, and almost no audience. The difference is that at some point, they stopped chasing every new opportunity and committed to one direction long enough to earn their first dollar. And that's why that first dollar changes everything, not because of the amount of money, because it changes the way you see yourself. For the first time, you have proof that someone was willing to exchange their hard-earned money for something you created. At that moment, business stops being an idea and starts becoming reality. That's why your first goal shouldn't be building the perfect business. It should be earning your first dollar. Here's another mistake almost every beginner makes. They think they need to build a business before they can make money. In reality, it's usually the opposite. You earn your first dollar first, and then you build your business around what actually works. Some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs started exactly this way. Sara Blakely didn't start as the founder of a billion-dollar company. Long before she created Spanx, she spent years selling fax machines door to door. Every rejection taught her how to communicate, sell, and keep going after hearing no. Those sales skills became the foundation that later helped her build a global business. She didn't begin with the perfect product. She began by learning how to create value and convince people to buy it. Jeff Bezos didn't start by building one of the world's largest companies either. Amazon began as a small online bookstore operating from a garage. Bezos wasn't trying to build a global empire on day one. He focused on serving customers well, learning from every sale, and improving step by step. That small business eventually became one of the most valuable companies in the world because it kept solving customer problems better than anyone else. Neither of them waited until everything was perfect. They started where they were, learned from real customers, and improved with every sale. That's the mindset we want you to leave this video with. Don't focus on building your dream company today. Focus on proving that someone is willing to pay for the value you can create. Because once you've earned your first dollar, you've already done something that millions of people dreaming about entrepreneurship never do. Now, the question becomes, how do you actually earn that first dollar? There are four practical paths we'd recommend to almost any beginner, and none of them requires investors, a huge audience, or years of experience. Now that you understand why your first dollar matters, let's answer the question you're probably asking yourself. Where should that first dollar actually come from? There isn't one perfect answer because everyone has different skills and interests. However, if we were starting from zero today, these are the four paths we'd seriously consider. None of them requires investors, a huge audience, or years of experience, but all of them can become the foundation of a real business if you're willing to keep learning and improving. The fastest way to earn your first dollar is usually by solving a problem with a skill you already have. You don't need to be the world's best designer, writer, marketer, or video editor. You simply need to know enough to help someone who's one step behind you. Maybe you know how to edit videos, write content, build simple websites, manage social media, organize homes, cook, plan events, tutor students, or simply help busy people with tasks they don't have the time or expertise to do themselves. What feels ordinary to you may be incredibly valuable to someone else. Businesses pay for solutions every single day because those solutions save time, reduce stress, or help them achieve better results. A great example is James Dyson. Long before he built one of the world's most innovative technology companies, he spent years solving problems, improving products, and learning through constant experimentation. His famous vacuum cleaner didn't appear overnight. It took more than 5,000 prototypes before he created one that truly worked. During that journey, he wasn't chasing the perfect company, he was developing the skills, knowledge, and persistence that eventually became the foundation of Dyson. Today, his company is known around the world, but it all started with solving one problem better than anyone else. That's an important lesson. Your goal isn't to spend the rest of your life offering the same service. Your goal is to build experience, understand what people truly need, and create the foundation for the business you actually want to build. Almost every successful entrepreneur started much smaller than where they eventually ended up. It all begins by creating value for someone else. Here's an opportunity many beginners completely overlook. Look around your neighborhood, your workplace, or even your own circle of friends. Every day, people and businesses pay for solutions that make their lives easier, save them time, or help them earn more money. Some businesses need help with websites, social media, email marketing, or AI tools. Others need something completely different. A local bakery might be looking for someone to decorate cakes. A cafe may need better photography for its menu. Someone might be willing to pay for handmade jewelry, home organization, pet care, or meal preparation. The opportunity isn't limited to digital skills. It's about finding a problem that people already have and offering a solution they're happy to pay for. You don't need to reinvent an industry. You simply need to become valuable to someone else. That's exactly how thousands of successful businesses started. They didn't invent something revolutionary. They solved everyday problems better than anyone else. The first two ideas help you earn your first dollars. The third helps you stop trading your time for every dollar you earn. After you've worked with enough customers, something interesting starts to happen. You'll notice that people ask the same questions, make the same mistakes, and struggle with the same challenges. That's where many successful businesses take the next step. Instead of solving the same problem one customer at a time forever, they create something that can help hundreds or even thousands of people at once. That might be a workbook, a template, a checklist, an online course, a book, a toolkit, a membership, or even software later on. A great example is Dave Ramsey. He didn't build a successful business by creating dozens of unrelated products. He spent years helping people solve one problem, managing their money. As he learned what his audience struggled with, he turned that knowledge into books, courses, budgeting tools, live events, and educational programs that have helped millions of people around the world. That's an important lesson. Products shouldn't be created because you want passive income. They should be created because you've gained enough real experience to understand what people genuinely need. The more problems you solve, the easier it becomes to recognize patterns. And those patterns often become your best business ideas. In other words, your customers don't just buy from you. Once you've started helping people, gained experience, or even created your first product, there's one more step that can accelerate everything you've built. Start building your social media alongside your business, not because followers automatically make you rich, they don't, but because every post, a video, or article gives more people a chance to discover your business and trust your expertise. If you're offering services, your content can attract new clients. If you're selling products, it can become one of your biggest sources of customers. Whatever business you're building, social media helps more people find it. A great example is Martha Stewart. She built her reputation by consistently sharing practical knowledge about cooking, home design, gardening, and entertaining. As people began trusting her expertise, they didn't just follow her, they bought her books, magazines, home collections, kitchen products, and courses. Her content wasn't the business itself, it became the engine that helped every part of her business grow into a global brand. That's why we believe almost everyone should start creating content as early as possible. You don't need thousands of followers, expensive equipment, or a viral video. Simply document your journey, share what you're learning, answer questions, and help people solve real problems. As your experience grows, so will your audience, and that audience will strengthen every other part of your business. That's the bigger picture. Your skills help you earn your first dollar. Helping people gives you experience. Products allow you to scale. And social media helps all three grow faster. When those four pieces work together, you're no longer chasing random business ideas. You're building a business with a foundation that can grow for years. At this point, you might be thinking, this all makes sense, but what if I still fail? That's a completely fair question. The truth is, none of the four paths we talked about guarantees success, but they all guarantee something equally valuable: experience. And that's where most people get stuck. They spend months comparing business ideas, waiting until they feel completely ready. The problem is, confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. Every customer teaches you something. Every product makes you better. Every piece of content improves your communication. Even if your first business isn't the one you stick with, the skills you build will stay with you and make the next opportunity much easier. That's exactly how many successful entrepreneurs got where they are today. Their first business wasn't their biggest success. It was the one that prepared them for it. So instead of asking, what if this isn't the perfect idea? Ask yourself, what's the first lesson I'll learn by getting started? Because action will always teach you more than endless preparation. Here's the challenge. Before this week ends, choose one of the four paths we've discussed and take your first real step. Help a local business, create your first product, or publish your first piece of content. Don't try to do everything, just start. Because every successful business begins the same way, with one decision to stop preparing and start building. And if you're still wondering which business is right for you, we've created a completely free business starter kit to help you choose the right direction, avoid common beginner mistakes, and take your first step with confidence. You'll find the link in the description. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for practical business advice every week. Give this video a like and let us know in the comments. Which of these four paths are you going to start with, and what's the very first action you'll take this week? Thanks for watching. And remember, your first dollar won't change your life overnight, but it might be the moment that changes its direction. We'll see you in the next video.